Movies. Everything you see and hear was done on purpose. Everything has meaning. Join Corey Heitschmidt, Justin Eldon, and me, Craig Dickinson, for Reading Between the Reels. Each episode will break down the movies you love and analyze cinematography, sound, performance, and set design to uncover the significance of the filmmaker's choices. Reading Between the Reels, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm Bo Maddox.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And this is Collateral Cinema. Welcome to a special At the Movies edition of Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We're podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420-friendly podcast, so whatever you have, be it dabs, blunts, bongs, or joints, smoke it if you've got it, my friends. Isn't that right, Ash?
Yes, smoke so hard that you no clip out of reality and end up in the backrooms.
Absolutely. And yeah, that has been a long-running joke in our podcast for the longest time, ever since the Backrooms lore originally came around in 2019. It's like, you hit the booth so hard that you just end up in the backrooms, right?
Exactly. I mean, that is what we literally refer to it as whenever I smoke so hard and I cough so much that we end up dissociating for a second. And that happens to be all the time. And that is what the Backrooms is. It's that just general like liminal feeling, and I feel like it's been such a fun, interesting creepypasta / mythos that's kind of relatively recent, actually. Like you mentioned, I mean, that started in 2019, was popularized by Kane Parsons' web series on YouTube. But yeah, it's still a very relevant creepypasta.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, next to like maybe the SCP Foundation, this is probably one of my favorite bits of internet creepypasta lore. I mean, I think it's even far more compelling than something like, say, Slender Man or like Jeff the Killer or anything like that. I mean, they tried giving Slender Man a movie, and that's had very mixed results, which is kind of unfortunate, because if you look at the Marble Hornets series, which is kind of a precursor to like Kane Parsons' whole thing with the Backrooms, I mean, it was a creepy and compelling found footage series. So, and that was kind of one of the first analog horror series to actually come out of YouTube. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting that all these years later, I mean, we finally get a creepypasta movie that actually really captures the essence and the concept of the lore, like, rather perfectly.
Yeah, well, and see, the thing about the Backrooms is it works off of a type of horror that just kind of exists subconsciously, and that's liminal horror. It's that feeling when you're down kind of a narrow, dim corridor, and it's just, there's something slightly off about the space, something about it that doesn't make sense, and that's what the Backrooms works off of. But I think what also made this attempt so good and such a high quality product, especially for an indie film, is that it was done by the creator of the YouTube web series that was arguably Backrooms lore at its most popular, at its most mainstream. So for someone who is so integral into that mythos to actually be the director who makes this film, and shout out to yet another YouTube content creator who is just now getting their way onto the big screen with their first big project in the horror department. We've had a lot of that lately, between this, Obsession, Iron Lung earlier this year, and Shelby Oaks last year.
Yes, I'm actually very glad to see that movies that are made by YouTubers are finally actually kind of getting their time in the spotlight, especially since originally YouTuber movies were kind of seen as kind of cringe, like you had the old like Fred or whatever his name was, they made movies, Smosh made a movie and everything. They were generally pretty terrible. So now that we're actually getting movies like Iron Lung, movies like Obsession, movies like this that, YouTubers made and that they've actually perfected their craft and everything, it's exciting, I mean, we ourselves have made a YouTube movie, of course, Texas Sundown. So it's kind of interesting to think that, we could be going into this new era of filmmakers coming from YouTube and actually gaining some influence and gaining a following in Hollywood and in the world of cinema, period.
Yeah, it is really exciting. And for this, along with Obsession, to actually be like the standout horror entries of really this year so far, I would say. And to both come out right here in May. I mean, yeah, it's horror fans are eating good right now. But Backrooms, I think, works so well because, like I said, it does play off of some fears that I think a lot of people relate to. And I think it manages to stay as enigmatic as it's supposed to be. I mean, people who like a movie with a story that has a fitting, a nice wrap on it and everything is tied up are maybe going to struggle with this, but I feel like it does a good job of keeping everything mysterious and not giving you all the answers by the end. But also there were points where I think it kind of towed the line and did almost go out of its way a little to explain things, which I think helps it come across with a mainstream audience.
Yes, and that's honestly why I really love the intro of this movie. It's very succinct. It follows pretty much the formula that Kane actually set with his Kane Pixels backroom videos. It actually feels almost like a logical continuation of those videos somewhat,
It does, and I do wonder if this is just like set in the same universe or whatnot. I watched through the web series the other day. Well, I had it on while I was working from home, yeah, talk about liminal horror. I mean, it's such a vibe, and there's just such this like permeating like sense to it that I feel like yeah, Kane Parsons has managed to actually condense and put into a feature length film, and that works really well in those found footage sequences, like at the opening of the film. For a type of film style that's by this point kind of seen as outdated, or at least was a few years ago. I feel like that's actually the movie at its best is during these found footage sequences.
Well, it really feels to me like the Backrooms is the first really quality found footage attempt in recent memory. I mean, there was a little period there where found footage movies kind of dominated the horror scene. You had paranormal activity and whatnot mainly, and there was a lot of other interesting entries into that genre, like there was Afflicted, which was more like a found footage take on vampires and whatnot. But I mean, this is just something that's so integral to the Backrooms. You have to have that analog found footage feel to really get what the fucking Backrooms is all about. It's integral to it. Like it's what makes the original Kane Pixels videos so compelling.
And I think it's really appealing to a lot of different audiences because it's for those that grew up in the 90s and are nostalgic for that period of time, they're going to get that connection. But also even for younger folks watching this or watching the Backrooms videos on YouTube or playing the games, that like 90s aesthetic is something that I think is going to be really interesting to someone even that didn't live through it. I mean, I was born in 95, so, I remember some of the 90s, but not a lot. But I've always found that era of time to be so interesting and so pertinent to a lot of my own personal interests. So I really do like that this film is set in the 90s, and they don't go out of their way to date it, which I appreciate. There's just kind of a few subtle context clues, and then just that feeling whenever you're in those POV shots with the found footage.
And ironically enough, that lends this to having kind of a timeless feel. You know, like at first I was starting to note that there weren't any cell phones in there. It's like, well, wait, is this in the 90s? And then sure enough, in the security footage, whenever Ejiofor's character Clark is initially in the back rooms and he comes across that security camera, it says it's in 1990. It's like in May of 1990 or something like that. So I mean, it still feels like it's a little beyond that time, though. You know, because I mean, there's just something about the Backrooms that's, it's postmodern, but I mean, it's also kind of a replication of modernism in a way, or a perversion of it.
That is actually like the interpretation that this film in particular goes for, and sort of its idea and the way that it expresses the Backrooms is that essentially it's an imitation of reality, but on an iterative scale, where with each iteration it gets further and further, and it's able to imitate things, but these things exist without function in this other realm.
Yeah, it's like a juxtaposition between the world of matter and the world of meaning so much. It's like if you have meaning without matter, it just kind of goes all over the place. It just kind of breaks down. And if you just have
that's
matter,
what makes it unsettling.
Meaning, I mean, you just have a physical space that's just is, and it just doesn't really do anything. So I mean, it's just kind of a balance between those two concepts a little bit.
That's what makes the Backrooms so unsettling, is you walk into a room where things are organized in such a way that they are obviously not fulfilling their function and they just kind of exist as props. And that's really what makes it feel so off.
Yes. It's kind of like something that I've seen in my dreams where, I mean, I'm in these spaces. It looks like a lived-in space, like a lived-in house and everything. It has the ostentations of someone living there, but when you actually look closely enough, you see that things are just off. It's as if somebody who has never seen a human domicile tried to set up a human domicile. Or how it's explained in the movie, it's like if you described a dog to somebody who has never seen a dog before and told them to write down what you're describing. It's like, I mean, you'll get an approximation of a dog, but it's like at the end of the day, it's just an interpretation of interpretation that's copied out, and it just has no form and no real meaning or anything. It's like it's a contextual thing that just gets distorted over time.
Yes, and that's what's just so interesting about this world and this lore and everything, and how little of it is given to us. But I feel like this film managed to convey a lot of that fear and tension that we saw in the found footage videos on YouTube, but actually, managed to align those with the perspectives of two main characters, Chiwetel Ejiofor's character and Renata Reinsve's character, and going in and looking at like the ads and whatnot for this film, I thought it was going to be mostly Chiwetel's film, but the film actually divides quite a bit of time to the other character. It has extended parts from her perspective as well. So, and I think that that's important. Obviously, I don't want to give away too much of the plot here, but being able to explore the backroom through the lens of two different characters and seeing the way that they're both transformed by that, really sold the idea for me.
Yeah, it kind of becomes this kind of dual character study of these two characters being juxtaposed against each other. You have Clark, he's completely in denial of his own hand in his own problems. He's completely shirking accountability. And then you have Mary just constantly trying to drag him back into reality and just say, no, it's like, you're the problem here. You need to address the issues within yourself. And ultimately, I mean, that leads to some not so great things in the Backrooms when those two characters finally meet up again.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of Chiwetel's performances and things I've seen him before. I mean, I remember him prominently from Doctor Strange, where I kind of feel like he's been wasted in that franchise, because at the end of that film, he actually comes across as a really, really cool villain. But I like the way that he does this, the way he plays this character who is initially relatable, I think, to a lot of people, but over time becomes more and more unhinged. And he's always just got that look about him where he's right on the fence between sanity and insanity. And right from the beginning, actually, even before he gets into the backroom stuff, he's already playing this on the edge character.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of interesting that we never see Clark living in any actual, real space of his own.
Yeah.
Like we see him sleeping in his furniture store. Like we never see, the only time we ever see him outside of the context of the furniture store is pretty much in Mary's therapy office, and the one time where he goes and gets his employees to come help explore the back rooms. Those are pretty much the only times that we ever see him outside of the context of either the back rooms or his furniture store. So I mean, he's pretty much, his entire life is liminal. He's pretty much trapped in liminality. And that liminality is ultimately what's bleeding into his subconscious and ultimately what leads him to the back rooms, more or less. He's trapped in his own back rooms already, and his only answer when he finds the door to the rest of the expanse of the back rooms is to just go deeper into it. It's basically just him not owning up to his bullshit.
Exactly.
When he basically finds a way to shirk his accountability through that.
Yeah, and he traps himself in liminality, and I like the way that's actually characterized, the way that's even represented to us early on and foreshadowed. And just to kind of see how this character reacts to the backrooms. His first instinct actually is to start to explore this place and map it out and spend a lot of time there.
Which makes his role his backstory as an architect, a failed architect, really interesting, because you would really think an architect would be one of the types of people that you would want to explore something like this to accurately map it out, and that's what he does. I mean, he uses his skill. He has an actionable skill that he can use in service of going deeper into these back rooms. Yeah. It's like, it just kind of facilitates him going further and further into the back rooms to where he just can't, bring himself back out. So,
Exactly, yeah. I also appreciate that this film associates itself with the most recognizable landscape of the backrooms, and really just the original setting of the backrooms, which is level 0. I'm actually so happy that a bunch of nerds are going to be pissed off that they didn't include level 50, where you meet SCP 370.
That's a huge issue I have with the current Backrooms community. It's like, look, I know that it's kind of like the SCP community, but we don't need to make it the SCP Foundation community.
We don't.
Backrooms doesn't need to be the SCP Foundation. I mean, in some ways, it kind of surprises me that it didn't come out of that particular bailiwick. It kind of surprises me that it wasn't an SCP initially, but honestly, I'm kind of glad that it wasn't as well, because I mean, I don't think that it would have captured the imagination of the internet as deeply as it did if it was just another SCP like 9,900 something or whatever,
Yeah.
Like it just wouldn't have had the same impact.
Well, and what makes the Backrooms interesting is the vagueness. So when you start adding on to that more and more, like, okay, fine, you want to have another level that's completely different to this level 0, I get it, but there's a point where it just becomes crazy. I'm glad that this movie just focuses on the landscapes that the mainstream audience is familiar with. But maybe in a sequel, we could explore some other levels. I wouldn't be opposed to that now that we've had a good film on this.
I wouldn't be opposed to getting into the playrooms a little bit, honestly, because that is a very creepy concept in and of itself.
Yeah.
But here in this movie, we do get a little bit of the pool rooms, though, which I'm going to tell you, I would much rather explore the back rooms than the pool rooms because I hate swimming. I don't find it to be a fun, leisurely activity. It's pretty much just a skill that I would use to save my life if I had to, or save someone else's life at this point.
Fair enough.
I'm so over swimming. But so you put me in the back rooms, that's just that is just interminable to me, man. Like I would actually not flourish in the pool rooms at all.
Yeah, I think I prefer the back rooms too to the pool rooms, because the pool rooms is you've got most of the same issues as the back rooms, plus you're in water, and so there's that element of I mean I like swimming, okay, but as much as the next guy, but I don't want to spend hours wading through water. So,
oh no, I mean. And if you ever seen any videos of the pool rooms proper, I mean, it's just as endless, just as nonsensical, just as non-Euclidean, and there's just really, really, really deep water. Like if you have any type of thalassophobia, that becomes an issue in that particular stage of the back room. So, yeah, it's like, to me, it's just, I would much prefer not to deal with the pool rooms, but we do get a little bit of the pool rooms here in this movie, very briefly.
We get a lot of interesting sets here, and this was all built. Instead of doing it in Blender like they did the web series, they built all of these sets, and there's some really interesting and creepy scenes. I mean, it doesn't rely as much on jump scares, but more so on psychological horror and atmospheric horror. So when you get to a scene where you just enter this dark room and there's a Christmas tree in the middle, that's scary as fuck, man. That's weird.
It's because of that familiarity. I mean, we've all had Christmas trees in our lives, and to see something that's meant to evoke those types of feelings of happiness and joy and the season and everything, just in the middle of this incredibly liminal room with mannequins melting into the fucking floors and ceilings and everything, and with just a little jingle going, it's like that is disquieting, man. That's the point where I'm pulling my gun out, which was like, no, this is not fucking cool, man. No, it's not cool at all.
That's what makes it so scary, is the emptiness. And I feel like that's where Backrooms stories are at their best, is when the author is really diving into the emptiness of the situation, that long pause without anything except for the protagonist and nothing else. Then, when entities do show up, or actually, honestly, ideally, you want them to show up as little as possible. But every once in a while, you may be this evidence that an entity may be nearby. But I hate when the Backrooms becomes about the entities, because that's not what the Backrooms is about.
No, absolutely not. Here we get very sparse entities. We just get the Captain Clark entity and the still lives. We don't get really much of anything else here, which I think is perfect. It's like, because I mean that's kind of an important character in his own right, and honestly a masterclass of practical effects design. I mean, we do have to talk about the practical effects of the still lives, of Captain Clark, and of the Backrooms itself, of the set design. I mean, this is a masterclass in absolutely using set design and practical effects to capture the essence of what makes something like the Backrooms so terrifying.
Yes, it's so good. I love these shots where like you have a character come in and peep around a corner, and suddenly the direction completely changes, and so the way you have that camera angled, it looks like you're flush with the hallway. It's so cool. It's kind of hard to describe, but the way that they built these sets, and of course, the entities that exist there, and the Captain Clark entity, I guess everybody's seen it. It was a big reveal in the movie, I felt like, when I watched it for the first time, that because I remember that was something a lot of people actually picked a bone with, is the last act of this movie they felt was not as solid as the rest, and a big part of that was that it all is centered around the Captain Clark entity, who they felt was less scary. But honestly, I'm going to tell you what, I loved the hell out of it. I actually really enjoyed that character, as an entity, because it's got this creepiness factor to it that is just completely absurd. And honestly, that terrifies me more than that bacteria thing.
Yeah, I mean, it really makes you think about how that entity came to be, you know? It's like, and whether or not, Clark is actually like directly, connected to it or not, or if it's just a manifestation of something that of some of his guilt and shame and everything is just coming at him and everything. So, I mean, that's not entirely clear to me, I feel. But I mean, you can go with either interpretation there.
Yeah.
And it could be just as valid.
But it's like,
That's what's really good about this movie is that quite a few interpretations of this movie can be just as valid as anything.
Really, yeah, absolutely. Like, I do feel like this movie does keep it just vague enough to leave you with questions. But you gotta wonder if media literacy really is dead, because the number of people who I've seen watch this film and talk about it afterward and just completely misunderstood something I felt the movie actually went out of its way to explain just is mind-boggling.
Oh no! I mean, I can only imagine. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like when people can't even understand explanations that are literally given to you in the film.
Exactly. I mean, the movie does kind of really help establish what the Backrooms are, how they relate to humanity. And it does kind of spell it out for you in many ways. But I mean, there is still enough of a vagueness that, you can kind of piece things together as you go along. I mean, I've heard some people say that maybe we could have used an extra 20 minutes added to the movie to kind of flesh out the Backrooms a little better, maybe. Which I don't know. I think that this movie fleshed it out just fine. Even just in the initial first 10 minutes, even.
Yeah. I think this film is paced well enough as it is. I mean, because there were even points of the movie while I was watching it where it would start to seem to drag a little, but then they do something again that was really interesting and engaging right away.
Oh, very much so.
I found something.
Okay. What did you find?
Found a place. It's massive in there. It just goes on and on and on. All these rooms. This place built, though. Actually, more like it remembers them. And the more times it remembers something, the less it does.
But yeah, I mean, I really, really love that that it still has that good analog horror feel to it, because, I mean, analog horror and found footage, they just go together perfectly, and I really feel like the Backrooms videos that you find on YouTube and everything, it's kind of the perfect mixture of those two approaches to the genre filmmaking and everything,
Yeah, found footage might have felt overplayed several years ago. I mean, I remember, we've actually talked about that on the podcast a few times, but like now, I feel like in 2026, it's like, okay, this can make a comeback now, but used well. And like I mentioned before, I feel like the found footage sections of this movie are actually some of the best parts. I mean, so the scariest part to me, I think, of the film, or at least one of the scariest moments, is the part where the camera is left down behind while a character goes to go check something else out. And so we just kind of see the camera from the perspective of the camera laying on a desk or something, and then suddenly something picks up that camera.
Oh, that was
terrifying.
Like an oh shit moment for me. I'm like, oh fuck, dude.
I remember watching this in the theater, and there were lots of audible gasps all throughout the movie, but also laughter at appropriate times where I felt like the movie was trying to be funny and it got a laugh out of the audience.
There's definitely some funny moments in this movie. I mean, a few moments of levity, like especially when Clark is initially exploring the Backrooms. I mean, he's kind of just amused by it. He's intrigued by it. So I mean, yeah, he'll kind of make a few quips here or there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like Kane Parsons actually really is another horror comedy. We're seeing a lot of that lately, and I feel like that's what's working with people best now in the elevated horror space is horror comedy. Yeah, it's just another director who's really, really good at that. The timing is spot on, and this guy is 20 years old. What the fuck? And he's the youngest director in A24 history, or no, sorry, Blumhouse, right? No, this is A24.
It's A24.
This is A24. I had it right.
It's A24.
Yeah. Obsession is Blumhouse.
Yeah. But honestly, yeah, that's very notable. It's like this is a first-time director. He's fresh. He's wet behind the ears and everything. He goes and he makes something that's pretty much David Lynch through the filter of Yorgos Lanthimos, who is another filmmaker who has utilized liminality and liminal spaces in his work to full effect. Like if you've seen like Dogtooth or Killing of a Sacred Deer and whatnot, he has a good grasp of how to use liminality to kind of loom over his characters throughout the script and everything, and Kane Parsons really kind of captured that perfectly here. But even like when you get to that dinner scene and everything, it's very Lynchian. Even it's like that felt very much. That almost felt like something out of Twin Peaks to me.
Yeah.
So like it was a really, really interesting blend of different perspectives to that type of psychological filmmaking.
I'm so glad that even after Lynch's death, we are still seeing that style of filmmaking, and we are still seeing that influence on the horror genre and other genres. That is excellent. It's excellent that we have young filmmakers like Kane Parsons who are making that on the big screen. I mean, this film is A24's highest grossing film to date. Parsons is the youngest filmmaker to reach #1 at the United States box office. It's the 9th highest grossing film of 2026 and the 2nd highest grossing horror film of 2026.
That's impressive, man. And I saw a snippet of an interview with Kane Parsons, and I was quite impressed by him. I mean, he's a very intelligent and very thoughtful young man, and he was actually just kind of talking about what he felt the Backrooms meant to him and everything, and how that kind of translated into his direction in the movie and everything. So, no, I was quite impressed by him, and I really would like to see his next work, which apparently there is a little Easter egg in this movie that alludes to a new universe that he's kind of building in another movie that he's making. So I'm very, very, very interested to see where that's going to go, and I would like to see what he does next.
Me too.
I don't think that he should. I don't necessarily think that he should just jump in and try to do another Backrooms movie. I want to see him try something a little different.
Yeah. Well, I think I saw online one thing he said he wanted to do was Portal. And that would be
really cool. He would be perfect for Portal.
He would be.
Like, holy shit.
That would be really interesting. But I do believe he did say that he was already planning another Backrooms film. But, maybe if he wants to kind of do something else in between, and then come at us with the Backrooms sequel. Because, but there is just so much more that we can explore, even in the context of this version of the universe.
Exactly. I mean, and we even get that interesting character who works for Async, Phil. We only see some glimpses of him, but he does become a little important later on in the movie. But I mean, he's an interesting character that kind of is he's pretty much the face of Async. He's pretty much the one person in Async that we actually see and everything. So, like, he's a very interesting character. I think he's played by Michael Duplass. I think that's his name. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he's another interesting character. It's like, that's another thing, is that this isn't a really large cast. There's maybe like 5 people in this movie altogether.
Yeah. Cast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cast members on
Wikipedia.
So about 8 people.
8 cast people. That's still a very sparse cast for a movie like this. I mean, there's not even extras in here. Like if you look in the furniture store segments, there's no customers in any of those scenes
ever.
So they managed to kind of kind of get around having to, hire extras to play customers and everything by just, eliminating the customers altogether, and that adds to the liminality of Clark's Ottoman Empire. You know, like I said, it's like the character Clark, he's pretty much just completely consumed by liminality. His life is liminal. He's in a transitory part of his life between like his divorce and his failure as an architect and having to open up the furniture store. I mean, he's trapped in liminality, and it's like he was always going to end up in the Backrooms because he kind of already is. Same with Mary to a degree.
Yeah.
Given
like her backstory.
She has a childhood where she was pretty much imprisoned by her mom. So I mean, that's kind of what it boils down to. It's like liminality just kind of looms over these people and it eventually crushes them, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. These are characters that were always headed to the Backrooms. It is strange because the idea is that it's just it's like a very what's the word? It's just like a random chance of happening, of just apparently slipping through reality, no clipping, and appearing in the Backrooms by chance. And you might think, well, how do so many of them have cameras? But I think it's just that there's that many people going into the Backrooms, and some of them do have cameras, and that's what we're seeing. But this film actually presents a portal to the Backrooms that is traversable, that you can come back and through as many times as you want, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think they call them null zones. That's the official name for those entryways.
Okay.
So, and I also love the concept of the Backrooms just basically being the collective remnants of humanity's past, just basically being copied over and over and over again. And if you know anything about, how copies of copies of copies tend to function, they break down,
Yeah.
like you see that whenever you consistently copy like a computer file. Eventually, that file breaks down over time.
They literally have shots of this going on where you're going through the Backrooms level by level and seeing a room move down and down further and further away from its original intended function.
Until it just ends up in the Backrooms as we know it.
Yeah.
It just eventually, that's just what it eventually forms into.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's also interesting how characters always seem to find the places and entities of the Backrooms that are related to their own pasts. I think that there's got to be some sort of force at play. I mean, like you said, Bo, there's even room for interpretation of, how much the human subconscious is forming the Backrooms. It's, and what happens.
Well, that's kind of one of the prevailing theories now about this movie, is that that's exactly what the Backrooms, at least in this iteration of the Backrooms, is. It's basically the collective remnants of humanity's past and memories just trying to replicate itself over and over again, It's kind of like, the River of Slime in Ghostbusters 2 being like the concentrated collective rage and negativity of everyone in New York. It's kind of that thing.
It actually reminds me of Mementos from Persona 5, which is the collective desires of humanity.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much kind of like that concept, and that kind of makes it a really interesting type of cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Because it kind of exists outside of any type of religious afterlife. It doesn't. It's kind of purgatorial, but it's like live human beings can get stuck in that purgatory. That's the only real difference. So, it kind of has this occupies this space that it's not really derived from any type of religious thing. It's just our collective memories just kind of mushing together.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of another interesting angle to look at it,
I really do like the idea of like collected cognition, a collective cognition that we've seen in movies like this or in games like Persona. Like, I do really feel like that's an interesting concept, and to see objects or people or things manifested according to the way that a person's own subconscious mind distorts those things.
Absolutely. I mean, I have definitely had dreams where I've been in spaces, like I said earlier, that, they look like they're, lived spaces, but you look closely enough, I mean, it just breaks apart. Like one example is I remember a dream where I was in, it was like some kind of department store.
Yeah.
It was like a Marshall's or something like that. But it's like there was nobody in there. There's just music going on. There was just like this very high ceiling with a lot of recessed lighting and everything. And there's like just the aisles where you're going around and all these clothes. But you look closely at the clothes, it's like there's no way anyone or anything could wear them. They're almost like cardboard cutouts practically.
That's what the Backrooms is like. It's like the way that your dreams reconstruct reality, the way that your dreams remember reality. It's like it's there from a certain perspective, but the second you move outside of that perspective, you start to notice what's off about it, even within the dream, right?
and that's exactly why I immediately, once the whole liminal space thing started to become prominent and the Backrooms become prominent, I immediately glommed onto it because I'm like, oh no, I've seen this shit before in my dreams.
Yeah.
I've seen these office spaces that are endless and you never find an actual exit out of them. I've been in those spaces in my dreams. So it's like, and a lot of other people have said that same thing, so there's a universality to it. And that's kind of what goes to the core of liminal spaces as a concept,
Yeah.
that there is like that nostalgia, that, universal feeling that, we've been there before.
Yeah. That's what works. That's what makes this so disturbing and so good. It works on so many levels. Is that it just like connects to something that the human brain basically does itself while watching. That's really genius.
Yeah, it's like a dream playing out in real time.
Yeah,
but I mean you're coming in from reality. You're not coming in from sleeping. You're just coming in straight from your own reality. No clipping into it.
Right.
So yeah, but anyway, I think that's about as deep as we can go into this without maybe trailing off for another couple of hours.
True.
we wanted to make this review kind of brief and everything. So, I mean, Ash, where do you think we go from here with the Backrooms? Like, especially when it comes to the state of filmmaking today. Let's go ahead and make those our final thoughts.
I think that we're going to see more liminal horror. I really do think that's going to be a thing. Whether or not it's just going to feel like someone's trying to do Backrooms or some original ideas can come out of that and make it on the big screen remains to be seen. But yeah, I do think that this is going to be the beginning of a liminal movement. I think it was timely. I feel like a lot of other attempts to take something to the big screen have felt like they were a few years too late. But this feels right on time. I mean, like I mentioned, the Backrooms lore started in 2019. The web series was in 2022. So, I still feel like we're really in that time zone. And, obviously Backrooms lore is making a resurgence and is getting, those videos are getting a lot more, are seeing a spike in views recently, which is awesome and is going to lead to even more concepts from other people who want to work with the Backrooms. I mean, there's already so many video games and short films and series that exist as it is. So it'll be really interesting to see where that moves forward. Like I mentioned, I think we'll kind of go back to a return to form, to the base idea of the Backrooms, level 0. I feel like that's going to be kind of more of the focus going forward than, that real scientific nerdy shit that just isn't Backrooms to me. That's SCP is just its own thing. I'm okay with there being some crossover, but like Backrooms should not SCP-fy itself.
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, honestly, I've been seeing a lot of discourse, especially on the Reddit, in certain movie subreddits and everything, about how, Obsession and this movie and everything is kind of maybe indicating a cultural shift towards more independent movies, definitely kind of becoming more prevalent and kind of being pushed to the forefront here. Now, whether or not the movie studios actually take that lesson from this, I mean, that's we'll see. and everything, but I mean, they're kind of attributing this to the same type of cultural shift that kind of brought us into the new Hollywood era, that brought us like Chinatown and some of those types of movies and everything, some of the Michael Cimino movies like Deer Hunter and whatnot, we're kind of seeing that cultural cinematic shift happening.
I think we are seeing a huge shift to independent content creation, whether that comes in the form of movies or video games and whatnot. Yeah, there is a huge cultural shift towards appreciating the independent creator, and I'm all here for it.
Exactly.
I think who thrives the best right now are independent creators who manage to get a break and expand their resources and have the resources to make something like this.
Absolutely. So I'm really looking forward to what the future holds for cinema. I think that it's going to be a very interesting shift. I mean, I think that maybe we need to start writing some scripts here pretty soon. I don't know. It's like, I mean, we have made some movies, so we could kind of go down that route. But honestly, no, I think that this movie is it's a sign of some really good things coming for horror as a genre and for independent filmmaking. So,
I think passion, that's something culturally we're shifting towards in media and especially in cinema is the return of passion, people making things because they want to make them, not to make money. And I'm glad that we have these big studios like A24, like Blumhouse, who are willing to take a chance on somebody who has a good idea and just, needs to get that distributed.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to that. And as far as this movie is concerned, I love it, man. I love the cinematography. It's a perfect mix of the cinematography, the set design, the practical effects, like awesome performances by the actors. It's like everything just comes together to really bring the Backrooms to life and make it really seem like a real space that you could probably find on your own if you look hard enough for it.
Yes.
It's like, I love it, and Kane Parsons is definitely somebody to watch. I'm very impressed by him. I'm really, really looking forward to his next work, even if that is a second Backrooms movie, which I do think he should wait, but it is what it is. Hollywood is as it is. That's going to happen, So yeah, I'm looking forward to what the future brings for Mr. Parsons. It really looks good for him.
100%.
So yeah, this movie is definitely something that will be discussed in film circles and in horror movie circles for years on end. So I'm very happy with this movie. It's definitely quite a thing and quite an adaptation.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, with all of that said, we can go ahead and start winding down now. Ash, what's going on with Collateral Gaming?
Well, today, as of recording this, we did just record part 1 of our season finale on Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It's been a long time coming, so my buddy Michael joined me for that, and so we should have that out very soon, if not already, and we'll have part 2 out soon by the end of this month as well, hopefully. Also look forward to game launch reviews on Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight and 007 First Light. Bo, I think next time when I come down this weekend, we should play some Lego Batman together and we could record that.
Let's do it. I have played Lego Batman games before, especially on the one that came out on the Wii back in the day. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, those are great co-op games as well. So yeah, that'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, yeah, I want to try that co-op experience. But also 007 First Light is very, very good. And I'm excited to talk about that. And we'll have more post-season content. And we're already putting together season 9 of Collateral Gaming. So stay tuned for that. Also check out Collateral Let's Play on YouTube. We are doing Phoenix Wright Wednesday. While we play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, we are just about to start Turnabout Goodbyes. And then on Metroid Monday, I'm playing through Metroid Prime Remastered. And on Shooter Saturday, we did just do an episode on Heretic plus Hexen. Very soon, I think I want to go ahead and do Power Slave next, and then probably a return to something modern like COD or Battlefield. So
Sounds good.
Yeah, stay tuned for more Let's Play content and anything else that I think of, games that I'm playing or games that are coming out. I may go ahead and do a Let's Play on as well. So look forward to all of that. And yeah, I think that's it from Collateral Gaming and Let's Play.
Awesome. As for Collateral Cinema, our latest episode is a double feature that we did with Collateral Gaming, and that's our reviews of Mortal Kombat 2 and the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie. It's like that was an interesting review. Well, I do think that MK2 is definitely the superior movie over that.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Cue the theme song. But yeah, we reviewed both of those movies. That is out right now. You can go listen to it on all the podcast apps. And next episode, I haven't really determined what we're going to do. I think we're going to do an indie movie review here very soon, and another Adult Swim episode. Those are probably going to be the next couple of episodes that are coming up, but we'll go ahead and kind of set those in stone here very soon, and we'll get some more info out as to what we're doing there. But of course, season 9 of Collateral Cinema, it starts in October. We're looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to some more At the Movies reviews coming up. I mean, there are some other movies that have come out and that maybe we can get to. I don't know. That Masters of the Universe movie seems kind of dumb.
Either that or Supergirl does come out in June, and
that's right.
I really am interested in following up, on James Gunn's DC universe.
No, we should definitely do that.
Yeah, I think so. And we like to hit a lot of the Cape shit. So I like to, at least. Also, The Odyssey is coming out in July. Evil Dead Burn and Spider-Man Brand New Day. So yeah.
Oh, so there's all kinds of stuff that we can do. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Ash, where can you find Collateral Cinema and Collateral Gaming?
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. If there's somewhere we're not, let us know so we can be there. You can help us rise up the ranks on Good Pods, or leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, or feedback on your platform of choice.
Yes. And we do have a Patreon, which is starting to get a lot of free members. I tried to bring up the list of all your names and say them on the podcast, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't have
skill issue
Patreon app yet. Skill issue. Yeah, I know. But yes, join us on our Patreon. We have $1 and $5 membership tiers and a free tier if you just want to follow us for the most part. And we also have a Buy Me a Coffee where you can also send us like $1 or $5 to help us out and everything. We have a Dashery store where you can get all kinds of merchandise with our logo on it. Everything from hats to t-shirts to coffee mugs to tapestries. You name it, you can find it there. And we are proud to be partnered up with W Energy. Use our promo code CCinemaPodcast to get 10% off your first order on their website. We will have a link in the show notes. It's a great product, jitter-free, made from coffee fruit extract, no sugar, and one tub goes a long way. So, check that out. And anything else to add, Ash?
No, I think that's it. You can find us on social media. We'll have links to those in the show notes. But yeah, I think that's all I got.
All right. Hell yeah. So definitely check out Backrooms and keep an eye out for Kane Parsons. He is going to be doing some very interesting things in the world of filmmaking. So with all that said, I am Pirate Clark.
And I am the Backrooms copy of the Backrooms copy of the Backrooms copy of Ashley Chancellor.
And we are out of here. Laters, y'all.
Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.